Hey guys, I'm back to talk to you today about a tech subject for the first time in a long time, and this is the first video in, gosh, over a year, I think. Today the topic is OnLive. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it. I actually first heard about it in Penny Arcade Comics, and then I was watching X-Play and they were talking about it too. And since then I've been doing some research. If you don't know, OnLive is basically a new way of video gaming that was announced recently at a game convention. And pretty much if you buy a little box, and it allows you to play games streaming off of a central OnLive data service. So you're not ever actually playing the game on your computer, it's just sending you the video feed from the game that's playing on their servers. So you can have, say, a really crappy computer that can't run normal games, or you say you could have a Mac that's not compatible with the games, or you can even run it on your TV without having a real console. All you need is this little box, basically, that helps with the streaming process. I'm not really going to go into any of the issues that this has technologically, because really you can't know for sure if they have or haven't gotten over the technological hurdles or not. So I'm not going to say whether I really think it's going to work or not in detail technologically, even though I'm definitely skeptical and I'm curious to see what the beta testing results are. But I'm going to go into all of the issues that a lot of people, that I've been reading haven't really looked at, which are, even if the thing works, it's probably not going to do well for a lot of other reasons. So I actually came up with a big list of pros and cons. And when I was writing my pros and cons, I was trying to be fair, but I only came up with 4 or 5 pros and about 4 times that many cons. So here we go. Basically, your pros are you can play games on, say, a Mac that you wouldn't normally be able to play if you happen to own one. You can run games at full resolution or almost full resolution on, computers that normally wouldn't be able to play them that well. You can get games immediately when they're released instead of having to go to the store, but is that really that big of a deal? Your games won't ever be sold out, so you don't have to worry about that. And now, this is one thing that some people have forgotten. You are still going to have to pay a startup cost, because OnLive advertises partially that it's going to be a cheaper alternative to console or PC gaming, because you don't have to go out and buy an expensive PC, you don't have to buy, an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Wii. But you still have to pay for that little box, and it's still going to cost you. They're saying that it's going to be less expensive than the Wii, but really, what does that mean? Is it $5 as expensive, 10, 30, 40, 50? So you're still going to have probably at least a $50 charge there, if not $100, which is quite possible, possibly more. So keep that in mind too. Now, as for my cons, there's a big one here. Basically, they have 2 options with their streaming and the quality that you can get. You can either have regular definition, which is going to be, you're going to need bandwidth of 1.5 megs. And if you want HD, which they only do in 720p, I believe, you need 5. So the issue with this is that I have, and so does everybody else I know, or a lot of people anyway, have limited downloads, basically. And after, I hit 60 gigs, I end up getting charged a huge fee per gig after that point. So if I'm trying to play my games in HD, and usually there'd be 2 games going at once in the house, it's gonna basically eat my bandwidth and my download limit like crazy, and I already hit my limit just not playing games that are eating it like that. So basically it's going to cost me a huge amount, and I can't up the amount of download that I get per month. I can't. So it's not cost effective for me currently, and I really don't see, my download limit being changed anytime in the year. And also, to do with the bandwidth itself, I'm not the only gamer in the house, so it wouldn't really be feasible to be able to play in HD, 2 people in one house. You really need an absolutely dedicated, you're the only person who's using it, internet connection, and that wouldn't work for a fair number of people I know who will have more than one game at a time running in a house, especially say if you're in university and you rent and you share with somebody, or if you're have a partner and they game as well, or if you have brothers and sisters in the same house who also game, or family members or anything, you can only run one of these at a time. Now, let's see. Other thing too, while this does broadcast in HD, got my air quotes in there, it's still going to be a lower resolution than, say, your computer monitor if you're running it on your computer, or most HD TVs, and it's going to look a little bit fuzzy because your computer monitor can display higher than 720p. So keep that in mind. It's not going to look as good as if you were actually running this game on your PC. My biggest issue with this is that basically how their pricing system works is you pay a monthly fee, and then you can pay to either rent or buy the games on top of that in the service. So it's not like, say, I think this is how Netflix works, where you pay one subscription and you can basically have whatever you want, in the month. With this, you pay a subscription just to access the service, and then you still have to buy your games. And some people are going, oh, well, because there's no hard copy, you won't have to pay as much. Well, when has that ever really worked out that much to your advantage? You still will probably be paying pretty much as much. They don't usually pass that much savings onto the consumer. It just doesn't ever work that way in real life. But anyway, in not having a hard copy, there are a lot of issues with this. For one, you can't resell. My Xbox 360 was financed on resold games. A lot of my games have been financed on resold games. It is a big market. You also can't buy your games used if you happen to want to buy used games. I do that too, and it saved me a bit of money. Another thing too is that all of your game data is going to be saved on their servers, and of course all of your games are on their servers. So if the company fails, you lose everything that you bought, you lose all your saved data, you lose everything. Now, I would also speculate, are they going to keep every single game that they have up on the server forever? You'd think they'd have to because people have paid for them, but will they? Or will it be, say, like Xbox Live game demos where they disappear after a while because nobody's playing them anymore? So, will they always be there? But still, with this company, it's an unknown company basically, and I just wouldn't trust them to not fail and take all of my games, all of my money, all of my everything with them. And I just don't like the idea of not being the owner of my stuff. Even say with World of Warcraft, I never went out and actually bought a hard copy of it, but I did download it onto my computer. I still have the game on my computer, so I don't have to necessarily worry about losing it somehow. It's already in hard copy there. Same thing with some other things I have. I still consider a digital copy on my computer to be as good as a hard copy because I can burn it and back up the files if I want to. But with this, you can't back it up. You can't even back up your saves, If something happens to this company, if, say, I don't know, one of their hard drives fries and they don't have your data backed up, your save games are gone. Your stuff is gone. So it just kind of makes me give it a second thought. Let's see. Oh, also, they like to advertise this as being an option for, say, people who can't afford to buy an expensive computer to run their games, or, say, who can't afford a console. Well, if you're having financial issues and you can't afford those things, are you always going to be able to pay your subscription fee? Because if you can't, you're going to get cut off, and then you're cut off from everything. Whereas, with me, I already own the consoles, I have the games. If I can't pay my Xbox Live subscription fee, I get cut off from that, but that doesn't stop me from still playing the majority of the features in my games. I have them, I don't need the Xbox Live subscription. Actually, I really don't. Also, when you really look at your price savings, say, as a competitor to consoles, it just doesn't really work because you still do have to pay a startup fee to buy the box, and you're going to have a monthly fee every month, and you're still buying the games or renting the games, so how is it really saving you more than at the most maybe $100 at the start? But if you just saved your money for a little while, is it not possible that you could just get a console with the security that brings you?